All right, I'm getting my walk in this morning, okay? And I just wanted to talk to you just a little bit about, why we're doing what we do. And I think it's going to be beneficial for a lot of people, right? And what you need to understand is that, one of the primary reasons that I'm putting out content right now is basically to help people, right? To help you to invest in crypto, right? That's where I'm at, right? Real estate, right? That's where I'm at, right? Stocks, bond, mutual funds, drip funds, and things like that, right? And if you don't have a business, you'll have the ability to start one, right? So you can use it for whatever you need to, particularly for tax purposes and so forth, right? Get a trust, establish a trust and that sort of a thing, right? That's why I'm doing what I'm doing, right? Because see, I remember the days when, I wasn't struggling or anything like that because I've always had a business and I've always worked, okay? But there was a time when, I saved up $200,000-$300,000 or something like that, right? $50,000. I had 401ks and stuff like that. And then, a situation happened, I go get that money, okay? And so we're going to talk about that, right? You do not want to rob Peter to pay Paul, if you will, okay? If you can help it. Now, if you really, really, really need the money, I would say go get the money, okay? But you don't want to go and tear down what you done built, right? And use that money, right? Then you don't have any. You don't have no assets, right? And so, the thing you can do, you can actually borrow against it, right? But the thing is, once you start accumulating commodities and assets, right, you don't want to touch it, right? Don't touch it, okay? And so we're going to talk about how to get to 1 million, right? I figure, right, to retire comfortably, and everybody have different goals and objectives, okay? But I would say you need at least $10 million, okay? If you look at what cars and houses and things cost right now, if you back that up about, I'm gonna say, let's say before COVID-19, okay? Before 2020, you'll see everything is almost doubled, okay? I know for a fact, I bought the truck that I have right now. I paid about $43,000 for it. It had 40,000 miles on it. It was 2019 Ford F-250 diesel, okay? Solid truck. Even now, it's solid, okay? That same truck right now with about 40,000 miles on it, right, is probably going to run you about $75,000, okay? And so the cost of everything has increased, okay? But that has a lot to do with the fact that, the U.S. government is printing money, right? So when you print money, you kind of debase the dollar, okay? And that's what's going on right now. And we'll get into some of those things. But I just wanted to let you know that, I'm going to be talking about things that you need to know, right? So you can experience for yourself. You can see them for yourself, right? You can experience, if you're not in investing. I don't want to say save money, because what the use of saving money if you're not going to do anything with it, right? You take money and make money a tool. It becomes a tool for you. It's an instrument for you to use to get those things that you need, okay, or that you want in life. It's an instrument that you can use to create wealth, okay? So we're going to get into several of these things, so you can get a feel for what it's like, right, to kind of jump off not jump off, but to kind of ease off into crypto, buy one or two crypto commodities, and only the top ones, okay? And we will not touch Bitcoin, okay? I've been following crypto for about 2 years now, okay? But we won't touch Bitcoin. And we're gonna talk about real estate. I'm gonna show you how to build your own house. I'm gonna give you the blueprint for that, right? and several other things. Okay, and like I said before, right? You know, I'm just a resource, right? Okay, I think there's a lot of things that a lot of people need to hear me talk about. Okay, it'll only add value to what you're already doing. It'll add value to your life if you're trying to get started, right? And so we're going to cover these things, right? You know, housing, crypto, you know, stocks. We're going to get into drip funds. I know some time ago, I wanted to prove to myself that I could save money, invest money, right? So what I did is I got a drip fund with Intel, and I got one with Charles Schwab, okay? And, you know, I just put like $25 in Charles Schwab, maybe $7, $10 or something like that. I'm sorry, $25 on Intel. And I think it was about $10, $25 on Intel, and about $10 with Charles Schwab. And I did that for 7 years, okay? And so, you know, that was one of the triggers and the catalyst for me. And I know a lot of you, you know, you have day jobs and stuff like that, as well as myself, okay? But I remember, back in the late 90s, when I worked for Northrop Grumman, one of the things that we did, you know, when you get to work, people kind of come in, they sit down and they go to work or they go get coffee and that kind of thing, right? Well, at Northrop Grumman, what we did, we went and got coffee, okay? But most of us, we kind of like hung out in the little galley area where the coffee was, and we talked about stocks. You know, a couple of guys was into real estate and stuff like that, right? But we started talking about stocks, okay? And most of the guys that I was around at that time, you know, they were buying stocks, right? So guess what I did? I started buying stocks, okay? And so that's why you wanna be around people, and you wanna surround people that's talking about those things that can enhance your life, that can add value to your life, you know. And like I said previously, you know, you know, everybody is going in the same direction, or you're going in a direction where they've already been. They've been very successful and stuff like that, right? So I follow people on the on X like that, right? I got an X account. You can go over there and check me out, right? So anyways, I just wanted to kind of talk about some of the things that's on my mind. And trust me, as far as like side hustles and stuff like that you can actually do, okay? You can actually do and generate some serious money, right? I'm gonna show you how to do that, okay? I was in the flooring. I did flooring for 10 years, okay? I even walked away from engineering, right? And started flooring. I did it full time. And I was doing some really unique things out there in flooring, okay? We're gonna get into that. This was like 2005, 2004, 2006, 2007, 2008. And I remember when the 2008, if you will, financial crisis, I remember when that happened. I was working for these big builders, and all of a sudden it seemed like all the builders stopped building, right? They just started pulling up out of the subdivisions, you know, almost like overnight, you know, like 30 days to 60 days, you know, you're like, oh man, this builder, he's not building, that builder is not building. And when you're out there working like that, right, a lot of times you don't see what's going on, you know, underneath everything, you know, particularly, you know, financially and structurally, right? But that's what was happening at that time, right? So we're gonna get into a lot of interesting things that will add value to what you're already doing. It's gonna add value to your life. You're going to like some of the things that we're going to talk about. And not only am I going to talk about them, right, but I will show you how to do some of these things that we talk about, right? It will be very valuable for you, for your family, and so forth, right? Okay, so that's it. Take care.